Senior U.S. judge denies Bola Tinubu's emergency appeal. Orders CSU to turn over records to Atiku Abubakar testify under oath Monday afternoon. Well, the ruling marks a major blow to Mr. Tinubu and a progress for Mr. Abubakar, who has been seeking the records of or to establish that the Nigerian president tendered for certificate. Thank you very much for joining us. This is an update on the CSU record saga. Well, please do share our videos or drop your comment, make them simple and simple. Let us know what your opinions are. I do not believe that this blow that is being said to have been meted out by the US judge, to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu just lands on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but also on our judiciary, which we are looking forward to what they have to say again at the Supreme Court. The judiciary, at the presidential tribunal, had thrown out all the petitions by the opposition party. Well, like one of the videos I did yesterday, I showed you the reality of Nigerian democracy. The judiciary is supposed to be the last man's hope. However, in Nigeria, the case is always very different. It's a place where, the poor are the ones who suffer, who suffer in the hands of the judiciary, while the rich can come to, they can have a plea bargain. Maybe there are people who have, you have stolen few things and minute things, and as such, they have been, hit with judgments that, took them even as far as going to correctional centers and all of that. Well, let's move on. President Bola Tinubu has lost his emergency application to block Chicago State University from releasing his academic records to Atiku Abubakar. There have been several persons calling from different angles, and with the Nadeco USA being the latest, calling for President Bola Ahmed's resignation, or he continues to, to met out blows of embarrassment to Nigerians. Well, Judge Nancy Maldonado of the United States of America, ordered the CSU to release to Atiku, Tinubu's records on Monday. She has said that they should release it on Monday, and it must be under an oath on Monday afternoon. In other words, whatever you are releasing must be released under oath, that what I'm releasing or what we are releasing is actually the correct thing, is actually the right thing that we are releasing. Judge Nancy Maldonado of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago said the decision of a lower federal magistrate judge on September 19th was appropriate and adopted it in full. The court overrules President Bola Tinubu's objection to Magistrate Judge Gilbert's recommended ruling and therefore adopts the ruling in full. Mr. Abubakar's application is therefore granted. The judge ruled in light of the pending Supreme Court of Nigeria's deadline, to the court as October 5, 2023, and based on CSU's representations that it is ready to comply with the discovery request and produce a witness. The court sets an expedited schedule for completion of discovery. Ms. Maldonado, a district judge, also said the CSU should turn over the records to Mr. Abubakar by 12 noon Monday afternoon, and also make it official available for disposition to authenticate the document by 5 p.m. on the same day. You see that they are, oh my God, when will we get to this point where things will be working? Institutions will be working on their own. The judiciary will be able to work, it's not going to, we have talked about this issue of the president appointing the chief judge of Nigeria. Because in any case, when somebody appoints you, you can't work against the person. If we are not saying that, that's of a truth that this person is working against, but it's the natural thing that you want to favor the person who put you in office. It's no more going to be a thing of universal interest, but it's not going to be a thing of collective interest, but a thing of a single person's interest. And that is the person who put you in office. The judge had said any attempt by Mr. Tinubu to appeal the judgment in the district will no longer be tolerated, as Mr. Abubakar must transfer the collected evidence to the Nigerian Supreme Court for use in an ongoing election petition case by October 5. Hey, CSU is directed to produce all relevant and non-privileged documents in response to requests for production number 1 through 4 as narrowed by Judge Gilbert and adopted here in Mr. Abubakar Sofina by 12 p.m. noon CDT on Monday, October 2nd, 2023. She said the Rule 30 BC disposition of CSU corporate designate must be completed by 5 p.m. as I stated on, and that's on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, given the October 5, 2023 filing deadline before the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the court will not extend or modify these deadlines. Hey, where will they go for this country? Well, you see, I just look forward to having a country where institutions are working, whether it favors this person or not. I just look forward to having a country where institutions are working. Institutions are working. Institutions are working. And that's just the fact. Why would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu say that they shouldn't release his document? If they release it, they shouldn't let them say whether the gender. Baba. Anyway, you become president now. So so even if he has to, even if the Supreme Court says you have to step aside, at least he's been there. And I think that's the most important thing, because even if you stay there, you still leave one day. So that's the truth. You understand? Well, let's see how things pan out. Let's see how the president's team will respond to this, even though there's been a kind of like barricade on this judgment that it will not, that any other appeal will not be tolerated and all of that. Well, America no be Nigeria. Now the problem be that it's only in Nigeria that things can be, you can say it's like this before and say it's no more like that. And or you can say it's like this before and you say no, what I actually meant is like this, just to make matters be in the favor of some other persons. Well, it is still serious matters here at Tony TV. I look forward to hearing and seeing your opinions. I saw a write up by somebody earlier on. I'd like to touch on it. Well, this comes from Osita Chidoka. He said this the U.S. court proceeding on CSU is a national embarrassment. It's a national embarrassment. And like I said earlier on, the Nadeco USA in their latest press release had said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should resign and save Nigeria further disgrace and embarrassment on this issue of, he said, Chidoka said, I speak as a Nigerian, that it took the courageous activism of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar to force the discovery of information concerning the President of Nigeria. It's a disgrace to our national institutions. It's a disgrace that all the aforementioned institutions allowed a man to be sworn in without definitely or definitive statements about his qualification is a national tragedy. He also said that for 23 years, the issue of President Tinubu has been a recurring decimal in our national equation. Under his reign, a corrupt current youth corps member is serving as minister, and people under investigation by EFCC and are made public, are sitting in the Federal Executive Council, and they all pass through security screening. That is serious. That is serious. This is Nigeria. As a nation, we have a full retinue of staffs at the Department of State Security, the National Intelligence Agency, the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Embassy of Nigeria, with a full complement of staffs in Washington, D.C., and the Nigerian judiciary that have voraciously ruled on matters concerning President Tinubu's academic qualifications, yet we cannot have a definitive conclusion about whether he is or he has the academic qualification he claimed he had or not. Disgraceful. Well, let's leave Ogachidoke. There's so much to be said. What are our national values? Who or which institutions should have ordered the full investigation of these questionable certificates? Is it like nobody is seeing anything wrong with what is happening? Little do you know that all these things has a way of fizzling down to the effect of that office. And of course, who suffers it at the end of the day. This is still Serious Matters here at Tony TV. Please do share our videos with others. Drop your comment. Make them simple and simple. Thank you very much for always watching. We appreciate you. God bless you. Bye-bye.